see here, we keep it really simple as far as we've got the different time frames that we follow, the day, the week, the month, the quarter, the year. And then Alex, A2 for SPXL, A3 for TNA, A2 for TQQQ, and A3 for UDAO. What does the A represent?
The amount of days it is up.
So therefore, we keep it simple. We are 3 days in an uptrend for UDAO right here, above the 10 moving average right here. This is a simple moving average. It is not an exponential. This is my own little twist that I've thrown into trading because I really believe that when you become a trader, you have to design the market your way, no one else's way. Now, you can take nuggets from people, but in the end, the best way is to design your market and to follow the rules. And I'm going to say that again. Whatever rules you have, follow those rules. Why, Roops? Or Dave?
I'll let Dave answer.
Why do we follow the rules? They're on mute. Because if you don't, you're going to get burned. Right, Alex?
Yes.
Simple as that. As simple as that. Now, one of the things that we've had a lot of fun with lately is, going over the different time frames. But Dave and Alex, I think you had a chance to play with on demand and to kind of back test support and resistance. So if you don't mind, Alex, tell me, what did you find when you went and back tested this with on demand?
What I found is like if I have full time frame continuity and it looks somewhat decent, I would just test the trend, see if I'm right.
Okay. And what was one of the main things that you were looking for when you were back testing? Because you mentioned something about full time frame continuity, but exactly what time frame were you focused on, and what do you mean by you were testing it?
So I was looking more at the daily because if you're gonna be trading, I'd say probably look at the day and not for the week. Just more specifically for this one, if you're gonna do day trading. Yeah, with just on demand, it makes sure like I don't actually blow any real money, and it just kind of builds confidence in your own testing. It's like studying. Yeah.
So something that we talked about the other day, and I wish I would have recorded this, is that when we have full time frame continuity on the bigger time frames, such as the year, the quarter, the month, and the week, they really become irrelevant, don't they? And so it allows us to focus then on the day. And what price action are we really focused on then on the day? Anyone? It's my favorite combination.
222 rev.
222 bullish rev or reversal up. And you can see right now within the cues, when was the last reversal?
The 13th.
Right there, right? This is where we kind of took out what? Go ahead and say it, Alex. What did we take out here to the left?
The previous low.
Previous low, so it's time to go. And the moment we did that, we took this key pivot point out. Buyers stepped in and brought it up, and then they followed through, not only on the second day, but the third day, the fourth day, and the fifth day. And because we draw support and resistance a certain way, let me just create a new one here. And I'm going to get rid of some of the alerts. We're just really going to simplify this. We said that this was the previous low right there. Everyone sees this right here. The low on that was 73.29. And we got almost down to 73.29. We got to 73.34, close enough. And then the moment we did that, price reversed. So we now have established a new low. And the previous high before price reversed was up here at 86.60 or 88 or 86.85 right here. And then Alex, where are we trying to go at the moment?
Oh, we're trying to break that previous high that we had.
That's right. Very good. And what would tell us if it fails? Something very simple.
It would be another reversal.
It would be a reversal to the downside, like this 222 reversal back down. Any questions on that? This is the confirmation that price was not strong enough to get to the previous high, and it reversed, kind of like it did right here to the left. Do you notice how price was never strong enough to go higher, and then it reversed? In this case, it was a 212 down. We got the bounce, and then we went 222 rev down. And then right here, we went 222 rev down. So we are actually only going to set an alert right here at 81.84. And what would that tell us?
Reversal.
Reversal, right? We want to know about that because as long as this doesn't reverse, we're going to assume that the next target is this candle right here at 85.89. And then the previous high is 86.85. So if we take out 86.85, what are you going to do, Alex, if you're long in TQQQ?
If it goes to 86.85?
Or anyone for that matter, Zay, Roops, Dave. This is an active participation, so just feel like jump in.
I mean, if it goes to 86.85, then it's breaking the previous one.
We reached target, right?
Yeah.
That's the target. So every one of these lines right here, they all represent potential targets. Because in order for the market to go higher, we would have to take out these pivot points or these previous highs, correct? Simple stuff. And we only did that on a daily chart. Keep it really simple. And by the way, what do we have set up here for next week on the weekly?
2-2 reversal.
Yes, we've got this potential reversal. So if we take out 83.94, you want to know about that too, don't you? Because that right there would tell you to get your butt in the trade. And for those of you who are new, where would our target be for the week?
The previous candle high.
Previous candle high at 86.85. Does it have to stop there?
No.
No, because if it doesn't, our next target would be this guy right here at 89.08. And then the main primary objective is to put in a new high, which would be 93.79. Any questions on that? Everyone understands how to draw the support and the resistance based upon the 10-day moving average or the 10 moving average.
Yeah, it's clear. I just have a question.
Here's a.
When you say this trigger, sometimes I see that trigger but makes a reversal, and then sometimes this takes a few candles to go to the next target. So which is the time where I can get in the trade when I don't, I can understand. When it's
Okay.
triggered, you go and jump, or what do you do?
All right, that's an excellent question. And I will guarantee you that Zay isn't the only one who has that question. Let's just simplify this even more and let's only focus on the day. And anyone can answer this, by the way. What are the last 3 candles? What numbers? And I know it's obvious, it's right there, but someone participate and say it.
2.
2.
2, 2, 2, right? That is a 2, 2, 2 continuation. And what has Rob always said about 2, 2, 2 continuations? Don't chase them. Why? Because they usually get sold into, don't they? They usually get sold into. And so if you really believe, Zay, that the direction of the market is up, which I think you would, because if you look at the bigger time frames here, we have price action that tells you that it wants to go up. When do you get into this trade? Anyone want to answer that?
At the rest period.
There's 2. At the rest period. And what does that rest period look like, Roops?
Another reversal back to 10 SMA test.
Do you agree with that, Zay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we take this and we draw this right here, here was your run down. And right now, here is your bounce back up. What can price do on Tuesday? It could do 3 things, right? It could go inside and not break the previous candle. It could go up and take out previous high, or it could reverse, right, and go to target to here or lower. Because Zay is a disciplined trader, she is waiting for the rest in this so that she can trade the reversal back up. That's all you're doing here, Zay. You're simply waiting for this thing to give you another 222 rev entry or an inside and up entry. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, of course.
Okay, so write that down. I will not chase 222 continuations. Because let's just go back in time here. Here's a 2. Here's a 2. And then keep in mind, on this day, this was a big, green, beautiful 2 at one point, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
And if you chase the 2-2 continuation here, what happened? Got sold into, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if you decided that, oh crap, I missed this move, I got to get my butt in this trade, and you got this big red candle here, what are you thinking if you're long? 2 words, I'm wrong, right? Because if you traded the 0-day option on this, it's worthless, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you bought too many shares and you over leveraged, your P&L is not in a happy place. And that's why you don't chase that 2-2-2 continuation. Great question, Zay. Everyone understands this. The hardest part about trading, Zay, is not chasing. Who agrees with that?
Yes, I do.
Discipline is a real struggle for people. And that is one of the reasons why what will happen is that we will decide that we understand the strat or our strategy like the back of our hand. And what will we do in order to trade, in order to participate? What's the one thing that we do?
FOMO.
We FOMO into it, or we go right here and we go, oh, you know what?
5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this right here on a 5 minute. I can do it right here. And then when we get chopped up through here, like this action, look at this action right through here. That's ugly, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's what we do though. We change the narrative of the day so that we can justify a position, so that we can trade, so we can satisfy that need, rather than looking at this from afar like this and going, this is a 2-2 continuation. I am not trading this. Or you could say, okay, if we go higher, I could take this trade, but here's the deal. If we break the low right here of 78.60, I have to accept the fact that I'm wrong and I'm getting out. And they almost took that all the way back down and made it a 3 for the day. This was a huge, huge shakeout to get everyone to be negative again and to say what? If you predict, what were you thinking on this day?
That it was going to go down.
Yeah, we were going to come back down to here, right?
Mhm.
Because that would have been the previous low. And that's one of the struggles that we have as traders too, is that we always have this mindset that we're smarter than the market and that we know what price is going to do next. And the truth is we do not. We simply do not know who is going to trade what. All we can do is slow it down and make a really good decision. And for what it's worth, full disclosure, I ended up taking some trades on this day. But here's the deal. It didn't stop me out. And that's how mentally tough you need to be. Because the majority of the people, in all honesty, they will try to take this down to a 15-minute chart like this. And then they'll see this price action right here, right? Doom and gloom, doom and gloom. And then on this very last candle, if you didn't get out and cover your short right here, what happened the next day?
You got shorted.
Mhm.
Oh, you got annihilated, didn't you? Right? Because here you are, you're patting yourself on the back and you're saying, man, I know this market, it's selling off, it's going to hit that previous low. I'm going to hold this thing. And you held it. And then the next day, you thought what? Oh, snap. I am wrong. And so you're either arguing with the market right now if you have a short position with your shares, or if you have options, you're simply letting it just expire worthless, aren't you? How many of you done that? Oh, I'm wrong with my option, but you know what? It's only $100. I'll just hope, I'll just pray, and I'll just wish and see what happens. How many of you done that?
Yes, I have.
Too many of us. That's one of the reasons why I stopped buying calls and puts for options. And for those of you who are new, I sell puts now and I sell cover calls because it fits my personality better as a trader. And that's a topic for a different day. I don't want to go too far into that. But yeah, I used to be that option trader that would hope, wish, and pray. And then I'd watch it go to zero. And then I'd say, you know what? That was only $100, right? That's a bad habit to get into. Very bad habit. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. So overall, this is the health of the market. And we gauge that getting back to here with these 4 ETFs. As of now, are we in an uptrend or a downtrend?
Uptrend.
Uptrend. Uptrend. Until we get the reversal. So for the day, we are going to look at possible trades to the upside, right? Because why would we want to fight the trend? Why do people insist on fighting the trend?
Because they're the one.
Ask yourself that question. Why do I fight the trend? A lot of that is ego, right? A lot of that is ego, where people want to be able to beat their chest and say, I was the first monkey in the barrel to the short side.
Yeah.
And Rob has always taught us, once you understand trend, you do not need to be the first participant, correct?
That's correct.
You simply need to understand the trend and then ride it until it reverses. It's that simple. That simple. All right. For those of you who are new, I use Thinkorswim, and the wonderful thing about Thinkorswim is that it allows you to do scans within your basket or against all stocks. Again, this will be a lesson at a later time, but just know that I have already written these scans. And what is the one thing that you think we should be looking at the most here as far as the scan? What would you scan for? Let's back up. What would you scan for? I'm really going to challenge you here to think, and then someone give me an answer here.
What you talked about, trend.
Trend. Okay. And one of the first things that you would want to know about is who is what for the year. 2 up, right?
Two up, yeah.
2 up, right? Why 2 up, Bruce? And while you tell that to the group, I'll be right back.
Yep. Because number one, it triggered the previous year's high, right? So and it's an uptrend.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to run upstairs really quick. In a nutshell, Roops, you said, because we want to know if it wants to go higher, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that we can do, if you have the scan, we can go in here and we can click on the personal. And anytime you see this little icon to the left here, this little bullseye, this is a scan that's already been defined within Thinkorswim. So I'm a big believer in, I don't know every company out there in the market, so I'm going to first scan against all stocks. 2 up for the year. Everyone can see that?
Yes.
And look at what the computer will do here, like that. This goes out there and it says, give me every stock that is 2 up for the year. If we're 2 up for the year, we want to know about that because we want to know how many potential players we have or candles to the left of us that we can blow out, right? And so when you look at something like American Airlines, do you guys see the 2 up here on the year?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We know where the next target is. And that's 1908 if we can get there, right? Just like we know that the next target here would be 2142. But for those of you who have been trading with me long enough, these targets are really nice, but what am I really focused on here on the year?
It has to be above the 10.
It has the potential to get back up to the 10. So for me, this would be a trade possibly not only to this target and second target here, but back up to the 10. What would happen if we just continued to knock out all these candles or blow them out? Isn't the objective to get back all the way up here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now this is on a year chart, and I know some of you have a hard time visualizing this, so I'm going to just move this down to a year. And I'm going to put Roops on the spot.
Mhm.
Roops, when you first got into trading, did you ever look at a 1-year chart?
Never.
Never. And then when you finally did look at the big picture, did you ever think that we could hit a target on a 1-year chart?
Did I ever think it was going to hit it? Yes. After I looked at it, yes.
After a while, it did. And so one of the ones that we traded last year was this little guy right here, Carvana. And this is a great example of what can happen when a stock decides to go 212 rev. Did it hit target?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So Zay, let me ask you this. The trigger on this was $62.59. Do you see that?
Yes.
Let's just say that you decided to buy 2 shares at $63.59. You decided to lock up $127.18. And
Mhm.
you wanted to see if we could get the target here to $240.58. How much money did you make on that trade?
Yeah. Too much. The double. More than the double.
More than the double. So that's the power of the condo play, and I can go into greater depth with that later, but that was one that, we were joking around when this thing was at $40 and we said, yeah, wouldn't that be cool if we triggered this? And then we went all the way up to here, and Sylvia said, that'll never happen. Sylvia's favorite words. And
tell
then
me,
it happened.
when it triggered the one,
Mhm.
you just jump and that's it?
Here's the thing. The number one thing traders do is that we complicate things. One of the guys that I worked with, Weibo, he's not here today. He told me, Phil, I have this really bad habit of getting into a trade and then getting out. How many of you do that? I get in, I get out. I get in, I get out. And I'm not profitable. I think the majority of us were there somewhere along the line. And he said, I just don't understand this whole full-time frame continuity thing. And I said, well, let's just take full-time frame continuity out of it. And let's just focus on the fundamentals of the strat. And he said, okay. So the very first thing I did, I went to a chart similar to Carvana, just on the 1 year. And I said, do we have a trigger right here? And Zay, you would say what?
Yes. My question is because, okay, it's the one trigger, right? So the next candle will open down and then go up. So my question is, you wait to open the next candle and wait for the
Trigger.
for the trigger, or
Here, let's do this. Let's do this, because I'm really going to put this into perspective for you as far as how difficult traders make this. Because you're going to answer your own question here, Zay. Okay, do you see this? The 62.59. That's the
Yeah.
trigger, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's slow this down to like hitting off of a T. Zay, if I told you to take a trade only off of the 1 year chart, would you have been profitable in Carvana for the whole year?
Yes.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
No, because I didn't see that as you see. So now that I have another perspective, I can do it.
Okay. Roops, have you ever looked at the market from that angle? Or Dave?
No.
No. Because here's the thing. Zay just said it. Well, geez, had I just slowed it down to this point right here, I would have been profitable all year to target. That's pretty much what you told me, right, Zay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then my question is, then why aren't you doing that? I'll tell you why. It's boring. I'm serious when I say that. It's boring. Humans crave action. And that is one of the reasons why we use smaller time frames. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, and I also think that it's well, not boring. It's that in a lower time frame, it makes you feel nervous if 1 or 2 days go to the reversal and you don't know if it's going to go up again or you're going to lose.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
day
can
by
see
day,
that.
and day by day, you can see what are you doing, right? But
Mhm.
not in 1 year.
Let me
Because
put this in
maybe in
perspective.
1 year you're not here. So that's why we want to be sure that day by day you can have some money.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's look at this from a different angle. Do you guys see the 4021 there? What does that represent?
Below.
$20.
It's the low of that candle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this. Were we ever at risk of getting stopped out past 4021?
No.
No, right? Did we even hit a 50% retracement of the previous candle?
No.
No.
You see, when we slow it down this way, we say, man, I should have been in this thing all year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would have made money. So do you think that we would be able to apply this same logic to the scan that we just did over here to the left?
Yes, sir.
And the answer is absolutely. Because the strat works on every time frame. So Zay, if you're struggling with making better decisions, chances are you're struggling making better decisions on that time frame rather than looking at the big picture. Because I guarantee you, if I flashed this right up in front of you and said, I need you to stay in this trade all year, you would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because you were never once influenced by all this noise. Because in the end, that's what this is, isn't it? This is noise. So here it is. Here's 2024. Let's go back to 2024 here. Let's go back in time. This is where it gets really cool. This is where it gets really cool. Everyone agrees that this is 2024 right here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This little place right here. Follow me. Zay, you've been here long enough. You know exactly what I'm going to do, don't you?
Yeah, lower.
Run,
Rest. Run,
run,
rest, run.
rest, run,
Run.
rest, run,
Run.
rest, run, rest, run, rest, huge run, huge rest. What do you think happened in this area right here?
It was the target.
That's right. That's right. But here's the thing. When we look at the year and then we compare it and we back test it to the day, was this stock ever in jeopardy? Answer's no, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole year it gave you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to get into this trade, didn't it? until it hit the target. And that's why I'm telling you, look at the big picture. And then once you understand this run, rest, run, you're going to be able to apply it to the other time frames. We just so happen to do it here on the day. And everyone agrees this is a run, rest, run.
Mm-hmm.
Rob would call this a TTO. I call it a run, rest, run. Whatever you call it, just call it healthy. Because this is what they do. They run it, they shake everyone out. They run it, they shake everyone out. Now, let's just say that the daily isn't your time frame. Zay, do you think we could have seen this same action on a week
Yes.
for the year? Let's find out.
Yes.
Let's find out. Everyone agrees right here. This is where it all started, right?
Yes, sir.
And so now we're going to slow it down on a weekly because you guys know that John loves to trade weeklies. Now we've really taken away that noise, haven't we? You see it, Zay?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, right? Do you think we could see that action on a monthly? Let's find out. In 2-year month, right there. Here it is. That's December. There's January. Zay, in your own words, what did January set up on 2024 for Carvana? Right there.
Yeah, it's the one.
And did we get triggered in the next day or the next month?
Yes.
Did it ever get below the 10?
No.
Is that healthy?
Yes.
You see how hard we're making it?
Yeah.
When we go to smaller time frames, it's like a Jedi mind trick. It messes with you. And so the bigger time frames, you really have to focus on that, because if I showed you the monthly here, Zay, and I said, I need you to stay in this trade, would you stay in this trade?
The month, maybe not.
Roops, would you have stayed in this trade just based off the month?
No.
Hindsight is easy, right? Hindsight is easy to see all the candles play out. But what's important here is that you see the setup on the year, and then you look at the smaller time frames to see if it's true.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we've done here. And all those smaller time frames were telling you the same thing the year was telling you, right? I'm healthy as an ox. Why aren't you in me? Why aren't you in this trade? Now, I know Carvana is an exception, but this is, I really believe this is when it really, really started to click for some of the other members in the group, when they understood the Carvana trade. And that's why I come back to it. What about on a quarter? Do you think we could have seen this on a quarter? Oops, wrong one. You think we could see it on a quarter? 2, 2, 2. Let's go back quarter. Well, let's do it this way. Let's do it right here. Did we get a signal on the quarter? Quarter says a different story, doesn't it? That's a 2, 2, 2, 2 continuation.
Mm-hmm.
But it told you that way back here, it was what? Possibly ready to reverse. But you could have gotten in on a smaller time frame. And that's one of the reasons why I like to apply that to a month and a week as well. Any questions on Carvana?
No.
How many of you thought that was cool?
Very nice.
All right. So now let's go back here. Now you're going to start to see the market in a different light. I promise. Do we have potential here with these
Yes.
American
Yes.
Airlines?
Mhm.
What about this one right here?
Yes.
Okay. Now keep in mind, this is a search or a scan against the entire market. Now, Zay, you've been trading with me long enough. What's my number one rule about a stock?
It has to be above the 10.
Okay. And what else?
You have to check that it's from USA.
The USA. So let's do that. You go to FinViz, let's type in ADPT. And we can see that this is a biotech company
Mm-hmm.
in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
That's my rule. Some of you might be okay trading Chinese stocks in United Kingdom or Ukraine or whatever you want, but that's my rule. But based upon what we see here, this thing went 2 up for the year, didn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we go 2 up for the year, what are we looking for?
The next
Possibly
target.
in the smaller time frames. An entry, right? Now,
Mhm.
we don't know if that trade's going to work. Don't hear that. Don't hear that, oh, this went 2 up for the year, because once it goes 2 up, it's going to do exactly what I think it's going to, because we know that that is false. The market is unpredictable. But here's the deal. Let's just look at this on the year. The low is what? $5.96.
Mhm.
Let's just say I bought $100 worth. I think I'm willing to throw $20 at this and say, if you take out the previous low of 596, I'll get my butt out of the trade. Would you do that, Roops?
Yes, sir.
Say, would you do that?
Yeah.
That's the mindset you should have, because I know if I'm right, what's my reward? My first reward is 1079. My second reward is 2892. And my third one is 7125. Now think about this. If I have a $1,000 account and I put $100 into every trade, I can definitely take what, 10 positions?
Yes, sir.
How many of those do I need to hit in order to be profitable?
This is
Because think about it. What's the max I can lose per trade?
$1,000.
Well, 100, right? Because they're 100.
Sorry, $100.
$100 positions, right? So let's just say 9 go bankrupt, but one of them goes to the target, the second target right here. Is that gonna phase me?
No,
Why?
you already paid 4x. 5x.
There you go.
Yeah.
So show me where else you can risk this little and still be profitable if 9 out of the 10 go bankrupt. You only need one. And because we understand the strat at a deeper level, we now can go through all this and find out which companies we want. And now you can add them to your basket. And guess what? You can really get serious and you can do the 2 up for the year for your basket. And look at all the names that came back. Some of these names you probably already know, don't you?
Mhm.
But let's just go through them and see if we have any potential setups for the entire year. Let me say that again, the entire year. We already said American Airlines. This is an example of one that's failing right now, Archer. What about Alaskan Airlines or Alaska Airlines?
I like it.
Like it, right? Because here we go. We did the 222 rev. We're above the 10. This is our first target right there, isn't it?
Huge trend line
This
right
is our-
here as well.
second, and then right here's the third. Like I said, you're going to start to see the market differently. I really hope that. What about Antero here?
Wow.
Yeah. What about Arista? How nice would it have been to be an Arista right there? That's another Antero. What about Aurora? Bros? Or Baker? I'm sorry, Baker?
Yes, I like this.
What about Bros?
Yes.
Bitdeer's coming back, but it's still fighting, right? Look at some of these moves, guys. What about eBay? eBay, what? EOS Energy. Do you think this one might be good
Hmm.
to throw $100 at?
Yes.
$1,000 at? This is one that's come up numerous times in the chat. Why is EQT getting bought? Well, I can tell you why. It looks pretty dang good. The objective is to get outside of this candle right here. And it did it. It finally did it. And now we're going headhunting to right here. Another one. Another one.
Wow.
Goldman Sachs. Whoever would have thought Goldman Sachs would have been a buy at 380. Now look at it. Ionic. These are the quantum computing. JOBY Aviation. This one's failing right now, but this could be a shakeout too, right? Because we've got all year for it to continue. JP Morgan, KD, KMI. Why do I like KMI?
Hasn't it target yet?
Yeah, look at this thing. It went right here, and man, it can go all the way back up to here. This is a beautiful chart right here. This right here should show you what is possible, right? Because there's the cup or the smile that we talk about. The 2-1-2 setup, and then it took 2 years, but did we get there?
Yep.
Did. Now, you could have traded this back up to here, but who knows? Maybe it just keeps going, right? Now that it's had 5 years to consolidate here, maybe it just keeps running like it ran here. Look at some other ones. This is another one, LUNR. Morgan Stanley, a lot of financials moving higher. Net, Cloudflare, still looks good.
Love it. Yep.
NVIDIA, nah, we probably won't chase that one. Pump, why is Pump good?
Triggered on the year.
Triggered. Roblox. But Roblox burned me one time, man. You don't understand. We're not on speaking terms.
I have to go.
All right,
Thank
Zay.
you.
I hope you got something out of this.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Have a great
Yeah.
weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Rubes.
Bye.
Look at last year for Rocket Lab.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it? TWLO.
Oh, wow. I like that one.
What about this one?
Nice.
Frontier Group. I think this is for the airline
Airlines.
Frontiers.
Yeah, airlines.
It's lagging, but it still looks good. Urban already put in a new high. And then VFC.
What is that?
VFC? I think they're a software company.
I like that chart.
Yeah. It really changes your perspective. It's a manufacturing
Wow.
company. Yeah. Any questions on what we did there? These are the ones that I'm kind of focused on right now. I mean, NVIDIA shouldn't be there, but it did go 2 up. If you're wondering why NVIDIA is there, it's because it went 2 up. It's just when it goes 2 up to new highs, I'm not very interested in it. What would it take for me to be interested in NVIDIA?
Retest.
A retest or a setup on a smaller time frame. And right now, you know, when you look at the week here it is, right? We went 3-2, went to previous high. That's how we got to 2 up for the year. See that? The moment we hit that, what happened, Roops?
Reversal.
Sellers stepped in, and then they stepped in the second week. And then what happened? Buyers eventually came in to lift it back up. So now we do have a setup here, don't we? What is that setup?
2-2 reversal.
2-2-2 reversal. That's right. And if we get that 2-2-2 reversal, we're trading it back up to here. Why do you think buyers stepped in there? What would be a catalyst to get buyers interested in that?
Earnings.
Earnings coming up. Most NASDAQ stocks will run 1 month into earnings. Not all the time, but there's a high probability that it'll happen. And so I'm not shocked that we pulled back going into earnings because we need to have some room to run back up, don't we?
Yeah.
That's it. So that's the scan right here, guys. You know, and if you want, what you could do too, you could change this scan for full time frame continuity right here within your own basket, of course, and look at all the names that it comes back with. Now, this is how I would do this. I would look for ones that have irrelevant larger time frames, such as the year, the quarter, and the month. And then I would look for an entry on the week or on the day. Let's see if I can find one here for you. Airbnb would be one. You see how it's inside year and it's inside quarter? And then we went 2 down here for the month, but we are set up for what now for the week?
Reversal.
3-2-2 reversal. And you can see that on the smallest time frame, the day here, they gave us that entry right here on the 14th. Because remember, it has to trigger on the smallest time frame first. What do we have coming up, Roops?
Earnings.
Earnings. There you go. So you could take some of these higher probability trades that are possibly going to trigger in earnings. Look at how they did that with Aflac. They sold it off, they consolidated it, they shook everyone out, and then they reversed it right here, and we have earnings coming up right there on the 6th. See that? And now we have this 3 set up for next week. And if the earnings are good, what do you think will happen?
Target.
We're going to come right up here to target. That's right. Now, I'm not saying that you should buy this and hold through earnings. Do not hear that. I am more or less one of the guys who will trade into earnings, the high probability trade. We already talked about Antero. Look at how they triangled them out right here. And then they ran it, they rested it, they ran it, they rested it, and then they ran it again. That's the kind of stuff that you should look at when you're looking at these. A lot of people ask me about Amazon. And here's the thing about Amazon. The year, the quarter, and the month, they're irrelevant because they're all inside month. See that? And so we're looking for that entry here on the week or on the day, and this was your entry right there. If you took that, you're already up $5. And then look, right there, earnings again. To run right back into earnings. That's it, guys. That's how I do it. We're not going to go through every one of these, but that at least gives you a high-level view of what you should be scanning against, and then looking at the setups. Any questions on this? I want to keep this one fairly short since Roops is recording this. But that's it. That's all I've got. That's it. Yeah. Unless you guys have any other questions. I appreciate you joining.
Thank you, Phil.
Alex, did you get all that?
I did.
It's about doing the right homework and not trying to swallow the market as a whole. And then learning how to manage your emotions. And if you believe in the bigger time frames, you will get to that point. I was one of these guys back in the day when I was getting my butt kicked. One share would make me a nervous wreck. So past that, slayed that dragon a long time ago. And I think you were there at one point too, Roops, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You don't even lose a wink of sleep anymore, do you?
I don't.
That is the best place to be when you're able to just to accept the outcome of the trade and be at peace with it. That's my challenge for you. Don't work harder. Just learn how to work smarter and then apply these 5 time frames. Stop chasing everything. Stop following everyone. Design your own markets. And you'll be pleasantly surprised what you start to see, how you start to feel. That's it. All right, guys.
Okay.
I will talk to you later.
Thanks again, Phil.
Roops,
Yes, sir.
thank you for
Thanks, Tab.
recording this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.